Hi, my rays of light, and welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and today I'm going to be giving you some insight and just chatting with you about several different things that have come up and just things I want to talk about. You know, some things are not going to be spiritual insight, but more like just having, I want to connect with y'all and know that I am also human myself, and I go through, many things like y'all do, and just keeping it real. Now, I never do any kind of reviews, hardly on. It's been a long time since I've done a review on any product or anything like that, but I wanted to go ahead and talk about the KFC Cheetos sandwich. So those of y'all who have not been made aware of yet, now you know, you've heard it from Ray that there is a Cheetos sandwich that KFC has come out with, and they have hyped this up on commercials. Every single couple of every hour, every 30 minutes, that commercial's playing on TV, and it's about this sandwich, which is supposed to, for Cheeto lovers, which I'm a Cheeto lover. I love Cheetos. I don't like hot Cheetos, but I like Cheetos. Yeah, it's supposed to have Cheetos in it and have the flavor. I am so disappointed in myself for falling for it. I had no business, first of all, getting the sandwich, but, temptation is there, and, a big guy's got to eat. So I got the sandwich, and it was just a disappointment. And I'm not, talking bad about KFC, because I love their chicken, but I kind of have, deviated away from KFC because a lot of the things that have been done with the chicken, etc., there was a lot of scandals a couple of years ago. So I've kind of stuck to, like, locally here in Texas where I live, there's this chain or this brand called Bush's Chicken. For those of you that are not familiar with it, that's like one of the best places to get chicken. And then, of course, we have Church's Fried Chicken for those of you that may be from the southern belt, or I don't know if Church's is in the northern belt, but of the USA. But as far as like the southern part, there is Church's Fried Chicken, which is really good. And then we have, some other restaurants that carry fried chicken. But I wanted to try this chicken sandwich. I had seen another YouTuber. His name is Rich Lux. Shout out to Rich Lux. He has a drama channel. And I saw him do a review on it, so I was like, I'm going to buy it and go in front of the camera. But I'm kind of camera shy when it comes to, like, eating. I don't like people watching me eat because I feel like it, it's just not appropriate. And who wants to hear somebody munching, right? That's just me. So I didn't do a review. I was going to do it, today in front of the camera, just eating the sandwich. But I did eat the sandwich. I did get it today. I was not impressed with it. It does not taste like Cheetos, even though it does have Cheetos on it. It has like a mayonnaise or some kind of I don't know. It's a weird kind of sauce on the bun, and then when you get to the Cheetos, it has like some, almost like when you rub your finger, or you're eating Cheetos and then your finger gets all that cheese stuck to your finger. That's kind of like what it is on top of the sandwich, but it does not have a flavor like Cheetos. If it does, it's like a subtle hint of it, and I have good taste buds. So I was like, another marketing strategy from KFC or Cheetos, from the brand whatever is their main company, to get people to buy this sandwich. But I personally didn't care for it. I feel like if it would have been maybe nachos, like Doritos, I love Doritos too. If it would have been Doritos, or it would have been maybe Funyun rings, I love Funyuns. It would have been good. Even, I know this may sound gross to some people, but I'm from the South and we love pork skins. So if this would have had pork skins on it, especially the hot and spicy ones, child, I would have been all over that. But this Cheeto sandwich, it was okay. On the scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, I would say this was like a 5 or 6. Okay, I'll just say 6, but that's my honest review from it. It did nothing for me. It was like I would have preferred just eating the chicken sandwich by itself and getting the flavor off of the chicken itself, but with the Cheetos, it kind of like threw the flavors off. I just was not feeling it. Was not feeling it at all. And then on to a new subject. So I guess I should say, don't go by my opinion. If if you're tempted, go and get the Cheeto sandwich and try it out yourself. Maybe it's how it was made, and the location. Every location makes it differently. I'm pretty sure, they have different ways of preparing the chicken, or, they add a little bit more Cheetos, etc. Mine had maybe like 1 or 2 Cheetos in there, and it was just like a cheese sprinkled, a cheese powder sprinkled over the chicken on the top. And they got kind of, with the humidity or the heat of the bun, it kind of like looks like it was melted. But I feel like for this, you can just save your money on that and just go get one of their $5 fill-ups, or, a bucket of chicken. It's just not worth it, in my opinion, for the sandwich. And again, that's just my humble opinion of the KFC Cheetos sandwich, which is a limited time offer, limited sandwich, like a limited edition, so to speak. Okay, so on to some other news. So recently it was just reported that Cameron Boyce, who was part of Disney, he passed away at the age, I believe, of 20 years old. It's very young. This is being felt all over the world. When it comes to Cameron Boyce and how he passed, again, I feel like the family is not going to say necessarily everything that was going on. I do feel like he definitely had health issues, but apart from that, I also feel like he had some other issues that he, other ways of coping, unhealthy coping mechanisms that could have led to him passing. Again, I feel like, when the fame bug hits, and people, especially young people today, they surround themselves in a fast kind of life. They don't really take good care of themselves, or, they stay up late. They, may experiment with certain things. And again, I feel like a lot of this was a culmination of what happened, where he ended up passing. But it's too early to do a reading on him, but I'm just giving you like kind of like the gist of what I get versus what is being put out there in the media. But I wish the family healing and well. I may do a psychic or mediumship reading on him, in a couple of weeks. But a lot of you have asked, what really went on. I don't see foul play. I just see someone kind of experimenting with certain things. And if you have an underlying health condition and you start experimenting or doing things, again, it's not going to end well in most cases. So, because people have seizures all the time and they don't typically die. I'm not going to say that they don't, but they don't typically die, from a seizure. Sometimes it's, with medicine, it is controllable. So there had to have been some other factors in this thing. But like I said, I will end up doing a mediumship reading on him very soon, in a couple of weeks, just to give it some time, since he has just passed. It's very disrespectful to do a reading on him right away. But I know a lot of you are wanting to know. A lot of people are feeling the loss, especially Disney fans that were fans of the show that he was on, and just people who liked him. His friends have got to be taking it very hard, very, very hard. It's such disappointing to see anyone that is young pass. And the way that parents say is that they never should have to say goodbye to their children first. It should always be the parents that leave first. But with life and with our destinies and our blueprints, and it can always be varied. There's not a certain point of exit for everyone that's the same. What was his exit may not be somebody else's exit. So again, my prayers go out to Cameron Boyce's family and all his friends and the people at the Disney network. So that's that. Now I'm going to go on to Trisha Paytas. A lot of people have been watching her. For those of you that don't know, she's a popular YouTuber. She's a singer. She does music videos, and she does a lot of mukbangs, or those where, like I said, you eat a sandwich or eat food in front of a camera and kind of do like a review, etc. She's very known throughout the YouTube world. If you have not seen one of her videos, you can check it out. Recently she's been having some meltdowns, crying, and people are wondering, is she doing this for attention, or is she really, in a bad place? Because she tends to do this quite often, and just people are just concerned for her mental health and her mental well-being. I see that there's a lot of heartbreak around her, so I don't follow her. I've seen maybe one or two videos in the past year. Nothing against her. She's just not my cup of tea. I just can't sit there and just watch somebody eat, or someone just, kind of talk about things that are so depressing. It's like very low vibration when what I have seen of her, at least. So I kind of stay away from it. But I do feel like she's going through some kind of heartbreak, some kind of feeling alienated, feeling very hurt. It's almost like this is karmic in nature, where she is seeing a lot of people turning against her, and maybe like people are no longer buying the antics, or what is being put in front of us on the camera. She has made a lot of money from, promotions, sponsorships, YouTube, etc. But, there comes a time when, it gets old, and I'm not trying to be mean or rude to her, but, that's what I feel. I feel like genuinely she is a good person, but she is very conflicted in her way of seeing things and the way that she treats people. She's very victimized by anything that anyone says. It's a very sensitive thing, and this has more to do with her and her own healing journey and taking some ownership for her mistakes. And I feel like she's at that point now. Everyone gets to a certain point, like in their 30s or 40s, where you have like a midlife kind of crisis. And for her, I feel like it's like, even though she's young, she's still having that kind of crisis right now, where she's kind of reflecting back on her decisions, and she's made a lot of poor decisions, but we all have, so I can't sit here and bash her, but I feel like she's very much, at that point right now where she's feeling very isolated, unsure about her love life, unsure about, the future. She doesn't really trust a lot of people because of the fact that she's been betrayed by a lot of people, and this tends to happen to anyone that has reached a certain amount of following on YouTube, or what we consider YouTube famous. She is a celebrity, a YouTube celebrity in every respect, but I see her kind of isolating herself right now, going through the healing journey. She does need to turn to like a shaman, a Reiki master, somebody to do massive healing on herself, but she also does need to kind of verbalize what she feels, not so much on the camera, but have these face-to-face conversations with a therapist or someone else, because this is a lot of psychological things. And again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not diagnosing her, but a lot of her issues from a spiritual perspective are very based and rooted on the psychological level, which she would need to, kind of talk to a therapist, kind of air it out, get it all out of herself. And then on spiritually, she would benefit from doing like an aura scrub, a cleansing, taking a bath in Himalayan sea salt, cleansing her aura and just saging herself and saging the environment, but also staying away from negative people. I feel like as much as she has a good heart, she kind of gravitates towards a clique or a certain group of people that maybe are YouTube also celebrities, and it's just negative. A lot of people around her I feel like are like yes people, they're telling her yes, 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 and just being fake to her. And at a certain point, sometimes you believe that, and she's very getting to a point where she is going to start having like an epiphany and kind of turn around a lot of it. So the Trisha Paytas that we see now, it's going to change in the very near future. Like within a year or so from now, we are going to see like a completely entirely different Trisha. What I am most concerned about when I tune into her is not so much just her mental health, but I also feel physically she has some conditions that may not be discussed, that she could be holding on to, that are very much coming to the forefront with her. And I'm not going to say what they are, but I feel like it is these are like serious conditions that could really hurt or affect her ability to be in front of the camera, to carry out day-to-day life functions, and etc. And so I think she's also going through that, or she will be going through that, what From Spirit says. but she may not want to talk about it on the camera, and then she may decide to come out and talk about it as well. Her life path when it comes to love in the future, what I'm being shown is that she's not necessarily going to ever settle down with someone and that be like a life partner. She's always going to continue to be kind of herself. She's always going to attract men towards her and women, but ultimately I feel like she is never going to fully be entirely happy in this lifetime. And again, I feel like there's a lot of resistance coming from her, from accepting her mistakes and kind of changing the patterns, because I feel like, again, she gravitates to bad guys or bad boys and people that are not necessarily good individuals, and she needs to kind of go for the opposite of what she normally likes. And that's when she's going to be finding some more happiness and kind of being more connected on a deeper level to a soulmate or to a person that really likes her. Like somebody nerdy would be really good, somebody that is more in a profession, a profession that's not inside of the YouTube community or in the entertainment world. Maybe like a even like a sports player, that's somebody different. But she definitely needs somebody different, and she needs to, again, take some ownership about her actions and not go to the camera, because a lot of people that are her subscribers and stuff, a lot of those people are not really rooting her on or supporting her. A lot of people are just watching you. They're watching you and ready to just laugh at you and judge you for crying, for, whatever you do. So again, those things need to be kept a little bit more private. I know that as a YouTuber myself, it's kind of hard at times to keep your private life separate. And especially with Trisha, she's been so open for so many years, putting her life in front of the camera. It's kind of hard to stop that. But I feel like that's part of her evolution and part of what she is going to need to do in order to kind of get better sanity. It's kind of quit, putting a lot of her personal things on her channel, and kind of like, keeping more of the private things and not reacting to like a meltdown in front of the camera, because that just kind of like not only isolates a lot of people, but there are people out there who have nobody to talk to, and or maybe going through similar situations. And a lot of her core fan base, maybe young people, when they see someone like her who is supposed to be a role model, they're not sure how to handle that, and they may start emulating the same thing, or getting very depressive, or getting darker thoughts. So again, she needs to be very mindful of the energy that she is sending out and putting in front of the camera. And again, I'm not judging her. This is just from what Spirit says, and it, like I said, I never sugarcoat things in my readings, and I try to keep it as, as gentle as possible. Like I said, people have an opinion of her. They're always going to have an opinion about her wardrobe, how she acts on camera, etc. I feel like, she's a beautiful lady, and she can do whatever she wants, and screw the haters, and people that, this is more about her and her well-being, her mental well-being, her spiritual well-being, and also finding, the way to heal, so that she doesn't keep repeating these karmic lessons over and over and over, because all I feel like right now is that she's stuck in a lot of this. So big angel hugs to you, Trisha Paytas. If you happen to listen to this, I wish you nothing but the best, and I hope that you can get to that happy place that you are seeking, because again, I feel like a part of you is crying out and wanting someone to kind of rescue you in some kind of way. But again, we have to rescue ourselves and be strong for ourselves, because at the end of the day, it's like Beyonce's song, we only have me, myself, and I. That's the only person that you can, only you are responsible for your happiness. No one else is responsible. If you are looking to happiness, to your happiness, and putting it in the hands of friends or other people, it's just a rude awakening. It's never going to be something that can fulfill you or sustain you on a long-term basis. So people that do that tend to kind of have setbacks or have emotional breakdowns, etc. So again, big angel hugs to Trisha Paytas. Let's keep her in our thoughts and prayers, and hopefully she, gets better. And I do feel like she is going to get to a better place, but it's just a matter of kind of like cleansing her energy and purging and getting it all out once and for all, so she can be a stronger version of herself. All right, so lastly, let's go ahead and get into the energy report for this week. For those of you that have tuned in, if you're not asleep yet. So this week, there is a lot of you out there that are going to be kind of fighting battles. A lot of you feel like the energy right now is like, there's a lot of resistance. It's almost like having a resistance band and working out, and there's just so much resistance. It's kind of hard to kind of push it or pull it towards you. That's kind of like what I see for a lot of you out there. The energy this week is kind of thick, and there's kind of a lot of, back and forth, back and forth. A lot of you may be deciding to, call in sick, or leave your job early. There's this element of a lot of you are leaving situations. Some of you may be going through a breakup now, or leaving, an old place that you were visiting. Maybe you were visiting your family for the holidays, and now you're leaving, and coming back home. But there's a lot of focus also on your work that needs your attention for a lot of you out there. At the same time, many of you are more tuning into your spiritual abilities. A lot of you are very much paying attention now to your intuitive abilities. And even though Mercury is in retrograde and communication is harder, a lot of you will be turning to your spiritual side to kind of use your intuition, your third eye, to kind of, get the insight that you're needing, since, again, communication may be a little bit broken. Some of you may be looking to book psychic readings, getting some clarity around aspects of your current life regarding your work, regarding your love life, or a relationship that you had, etc. There's also some time to rest. A lot of you just need to rest. A lot of you will be feeling very worn down from the 4th of July weekend, but also the energy when there is, several retrogrades like Chiron, Neptune, and Mercury all in retrograde. It's causing a lot of us to feel very just tired. So a lot of you may go to work and have a lot of energy in the very beginning, and then by midday or mid-morning, you're like drained completely and just not feeling it. And typically you're someone that's very energetic, healthy. So again, if you're feeling this way, that's the reason why. A lot of you also are going to be kind of like embarking on new opportunities. So there may be a job interview. A lot of you may be starting a new job. Again, there's just a lot of new opportunities and fulfillment. If you're wanting to be, express your emotions and get closer to someone, a lot of you may be doing that and kind of like taking a bolder step, overcoming any kind of fears that you have, and really just going after what you want. So it's an exciting time to be you. But overall, a lot of you are really going to utilize and make this week the most that you can to, feel a little bit more happier and balanced. But it may be like some ups and downs for y'all too. And, just kind of don't get upset. Try to, breathe, meditate, have your protective crystals, burn your incense, your sage, etc., your Palo Santo. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you so much. If you did like this this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Psychic Medium Ray. And if you'd like to book a reading, you can go to my website, but also subscribe to my website, because if I have any kind of sales or promotions or new news, I will be sending a newsletter out to y'all at www.raymondguzman.net/shop, or just go to raymondguzman.net and then just go to the shop section as well. So blessings of love and light. Have an amazing day or night wherever you are in the world.